Good morning, children. I'm back with your bio class. In the previous classes, 3 or 4 classes, we have studied about cell, and I have given you worksheets on cell. We have studied different kinds of cell, their structure, their function, the cell organelles. Each cell is having a particular set of organelles, organs, small organs, which we call as organelles. Now, we have in the first class of cell, I have told you that cells combine to form tissue, tissue combine to form organ, organs combine to form organ system, so on so far to form an organism. So now the next step is tissue. What is a tissue? Tissue are group of similar cell. The word has to be understood by you all. Group of similar cells. Similar means they are not exactly identical but are similar to each other. There may be minute differences, but they are similar cells performing a definite functions. They all group together to form a particular function. Like if we talk about the human body, we have the digestive system. This digestive system is made up of different organs like the mouth, the tongue, the stomach, the intestine, small intestine, large intestine. Now if I take one organ, say the stomach is made up of different kind of tissues which are performing only one function, that is the process of. Now, when we are talking about tissue, as I have told you in the cell also that there are differences in plant cell and animal cell. Similarly, the tissues can also be divided into two parts, that is plant tissue and animal tissue. We are going to study both these plant and animal tissue, but one by one. As I told you, the living conditions of plant is entirely different from that of animal. The plant has to prepare its own food. Plant has to face the harsh weather standing at one position. So their tissue structure is also different compared to the animal. So first we will discuss about plant tissue. Then we will go to animal tissue. If we talk about plant tissue can be divided into two. One which is dividing, which is continuously dividing and help the plant to grow, known as meristematic tissue, and the other one which has lost its capability to divide and has specialized itself in some kind of function and is known as permanent tissue. So meristematic are dividing tissue, whereas permanent are specialized tissue. That means they are doing something specific function. They are called as specialized tissue. Now, when we are talking about the plant tissue, then let's discuss one by the meristematic tissue and then the permanent tissue, right? So as I told you, meristematic tissue is nothing but it is a dividing tissue. That means it will be available in all the parts which are dividing rapidly, right? Which are dividing rapidly. It could be your stem tip, root tip, leaf tip, or any kind of such kind of structure which is dividing permanently is called as your meristematic tissue. Now let's talk about plant tissue. Plant tissue can be divided, as I told you, into meristematic and permanent. Meristematic can be further, as I told you, is the dividing, and permanent is specialized. We will talk about permanent later. Meristematic is dividing, so it is found in the places where the plant is growing, the tips, exactly the tips. So this meristematic tissue can be divided into three. One is apical, other is your intercalary, and the third one is your apical, intercalary, and your lateral. So first we talk about the apical. Apical means what? Apical means apex. Apex means tips. So this meristematic tissue is exactly found at the tips. It could be tip of a root, tip of a stem, tip of a leaf. Whichever part is growing, we have apical meristematic tissue. Then we have the intercalary. This will come to you later. First, let's talk about lateral. Lateral means sideways. Wherever, when the plant has to increase its width means chadai, breadth, that time this lateral tissue is present, which is dividing and increasing the breadth. Now, suppose the entire tissue of the plant has stopped growing, has become specialized. But what happens is, in between, you might have seen in sugarcane like this. Check, there are nodes and internodes. So the nodes have stopped dividing, but the internodes are still dividing, so they have come out. So one part is dividing among the undividing parts. That is called the intercalary. The part which is dividing is in between the non-dividing parts is called as intercalary meristem. Am I clear? Apical meristem, intercalary meristem, and lateral meristem. Lateral meristem is generally responsible for secondary growth. They are not helping in primary growth. That means that they are not increasing the length of the plant, but are increasing the width. So they are called as secondary growth. Now, when I am telling you that meristematic tissue are dividing, that means what will be the characteristic of these cells? They will be compactly packed. They will not allow anything to come in between. So they are compactly packed cell. And since they are compactly packed, they are newly dividing, so many of the organelles will not be present inside them, so they generally leave the vacuole, because in cell, I have told you that in plant cell, the vacuole occupies a very large place. It's centrally located, so that vacuole is lost, so that the tissues can get more space to accommodate, the cells can get more space to accommodate. They could be of any structure because they are rapidly dividing, so the structure does not matter, and they're thin walled. And since the organelles are not present, or you can say the organelles are not fully developed, so the cytoplasm is very, very dense. They have a very dense cytoplasm, and since they are dividing, so the structure which helps in division is nucleus. This nucleus has to be very, very large. They keeps on dividing and using the food, so they don't store any kind of food within them. This we are talking about the meristematic tissue, right? Now, then we come to the permanent tissue. When I am telling you about permanent tissue, that means this permanent tissue can be divided. Permanent means they are specialized in function. This permanent tissue is further divided into simple and complex. Simple means simple, made up of one kind of cell. Complex means there are group of different kinds of cell which come together to perform a particular function. Right? So first we talk about simple. Now division part is over. Plant has divided, so now it has to do some specialized work so that the plant is able to survive. It needs to store food, it needs to provide rigidity, it needs to provide toughness, it needs to secrete enzymes and all which will help the plant to grow. All this function is done by simple permanent tissue. So they are of three kinds, that is parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. Am I clear? Parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. As I told you, the plant need to store the things. So the work of parenchyma is nothing but it is storage of the substances. Parenchyma is there for storage of the substances. Like in aquatic plants, they help in maintaining the buoyancy. The plant is able to float. Buoyancy is there because of parenchyma, which is storing air bubbles in it and is known as erenchyma. What is erenchyma? Erenchyma is the parenchyma. It's a type of parenchyma which stores airspace, right, and helps in maintaining buoyancy. Similarly, if it is storing chlorophyll for the pigment, so then it is known as chlorenchyma. Not colon, it is chlorenchyma. That means it is a parenchymatic tissue which is storing your chlorophyll for the plant to use it. Storage work is done. Then we come to collenchyma. What function is left? I told you the plant has to store, plant has to perform many more functions. So storage work is done. Now the collenchyma is found beneath the epidermis, and it provides with extra protection to the plant cell. It provides tensile strength and rigidity. That is the work of collenchyma. A tensile strength, it provides strength to the underlying tissue. So this is the work of collenchyma. And elasticity, the plant has to be elastic, otherwise it will break. A small wind can break a plant. So for that purpose, collenchyma is present to provide elasticity. Then comes your sclerenchyma. The sclerenchyma is there to provide mechanical strength to the plant, right? This sclerenchyma is made up of two kinds of things, that is your fibers and sclerotic cells. What is it made up of? Fibers and sclerotic cells. Both these helps in providing mechanical strength. This sclerenchyma does not contain anything, no protoplasm, nothing. They are basically dead. When they are dead, that means they become tough. It is not easy to break. The dead bodies, they become tough. It is not easy to break those dead bodies. So it is a dead cell, and the cell wall is made up of cellulose and lignin. And it generally, because it is not, we are not able to break it, so it is specifically made for mechanical strength. Take. Now they are present where? They are present in the shells, the outer walls. They are important for the bark of the trees, the walnut shells. All these are made up of sclerenchymatic tissues, that is sclerenchyma fibers. Whereas when the same work is done by collenchyma, it is also providing strength, but it is providing strength to the protection to the underlying tissue. It is providing strength and protection to the underlying tissue. This is the difference between collenchyma and sclerenchyma. Sclerenchyma is dead cell, so it is basically responsible for making the outer covering, the bark, the walnut shells, whereas collenchyma is providing protection to the underlying tissues. It is not dead, it is living. It is providing elasticity also. So it helps in protecting the plants from harsh weather conditions. For today, we will please go through this again. If you have a problem, you can put your queries in the site, and I will answer your queries. Next class, we will discuss about the complex plant tissue. Till then, goodbye. Stay home, stay safe.